Up to this point, we've demonstrated striking with the hands and elbows. It's important now to integrate the legs and knees into a complete system of fighting. The legs offer and afford the person who's making the attack a broad range of distance. Your legs are longer than your arms. Your legs are stronger than your arms. So a powerful, full-range distance kick can provide many benefits in the fight. In addition, in close range, we can use the knee as an infighting type weapon, similar to the elbows in comparison to a punch. To make a complete fighter, we must incorporate the legs and knees into the equation of the fight.
In this next scene, we view front kick to the groin. In this scenario, we're kicking up and underneath the groin, and the kick is rising. Generally, the kick is delivered with the instep of the foot, approximately at the same area one would tie their shoes. The knee controls how high the kick is going, and the knee should rise above the target level. The leg opens, and the power is delivered up and through the target. As much as possible and as much as is comfortable, we try to emphasize to keep our hands up to protect our upper body. Elbows are in to protect the rib area. The hip comes forward, which is much like our right shoulder advancing towards the target when we punch. Note what is occurring with the base leg. As the kick is on its way being delivered to the target, the base leg, the heel of the base leg, turns inward so that the hips can extend forward and deeper to develop greater range in the kick and greater power. You can land forward depending on if you make contact and it's appropriate to do so, or in some situations it'll be appropriate to recoil and bring your leg back and behind you. In either case, one should be ready and prepared to follow up with counterattacks that are appropriate for the circumstances. In slow motion, reviewing the kick in its stages, the knee rising and the leg opening and closing, our hands staying up to protect us, and also leaving our hands in a position where we can give further attacks. If we're close, instead of the top of the foot being the striking area, we can strike with the shin. The shin is a very hard surface area and can do great damage to the groin.
In this view, we can examine the kick, the front kick to the groin, in its logical stages. Kevin will assume a fighting stance and slowly will deliver the kick in its entirety. A side view. It's possible that the kicker will want to land forward. If he's successful in reaching the target, there's no sense in bringing the leg back. However, if there should be a reason to retreat, it is also possible to bring the leg back and resume your fighting position from that distance. The stages. As in all attacks, we want whatever the striking implement to be to move toward the target first, to avoid the problem of telegraphing. Here we are striking with the top part or the instep of the foot. The foot will be jumping towards the target first and will lead the attack. The knee is folding and the kick is delivered. A side view. The knee is rising with the foot going towards the target immediately. 1 is the knee up, and 2 is the knee out and back, and 3 is the resumption of the position from which to fight further. In this next section, we deal with the instruction of roundhouse kicks. Like all other striking methods in the system, we want to be able to hit a target from any possible angle and at varying distances. Our roundhouse kick is delivered up and around, and it can be delivered at a very acute angle, or it can be delivered on the diagonal angle. And of course, should the opponent be on the ground or the threat be on the ground, still viable, the kick can be delivered in a downward angle. Because the turning of the body, the use of the hips, and the full range of motion involved in this kick, it is a very powerful target. It can be delivered to the leg, it can be delivered to the torso, it can be delivered to the head level. In this view, we can see the roundhouse kick being delivered with the right leg. There's no telegraphing of the kick. And in fact, what is occurring is the knee is being raised and leads the foot. The knee also extends beyond the target. The hips are turning in and the weight is being turned into the direction of the target. Power is generated in a relatively short distance. Notice also that Jared, as he's kicking, keeps his hands relatively up and in a protected position so that he is safe from any additional attacks that may be sent in his direction. In slow motion, please. Like other strikes, the striking implement, which is the top of the foot in this case, leads the kick. As the foot is coming forward, the knee is bent and remains bent as the kick passes through the target. As the knee passes the target unobstructed, the knee is opened and the foot is creating power on the pad in order to catch up with the knee. The turning of the hip, the turning of the shoulder inward, and the placement of the body weight ensures that this kick will have power. Specifically here we note what is occurring with the base leg. As Jared is kicking, it's important to note that basically the base leg is on the other side of the target. This will ensure that when kicking, the kicking leg will want to pass through the target and not merely to the target. Of course, as Jared is kicking, he is shifting his weight and pivoting on the ball of his foot. This also allows further range of motion. Should Jared be closer to the target, he will be delivering this kick with the shin. This is a very, very hard striking surface and can be delivered to various areas on the body to cause damage. Here's an example of the various levels at which this kick can be delivered. A kick to the leg is very strong, and also because of the sensitive nature of the muscle at the quad area of the leg, inflicts great pain. Such a kick can even deaden the feeling in the leg. Notice that Jared is turning his body very sharply and that he's delivering the kick with his shin. His right shoulder is up to protect him as much as possible from any punches or other attacks that may be thrown at him. This same kick can be delivered to the rib area. This essentially is the same type of kick. And of course, at this level, the kick can be delivered with the top of the foot, or even the ball of the foot. The kick can also be delivered with the shin, the ball of the foot, or the top of the foot at the head level. With Wade's hands in this position, Jarrett will deliver the kick around Wade's left arm. He is using the foot in a flexed position and kicking with the ball of the foot to reach the target, up and around the raised arm of Wade. If Wade's hands are lowered, and if Jarrett prefers, he can kick now with the instep. It's not necessary to go around any possible block or defense. And of course, as demonstrated earlier, you saw that Jarrett can deliver the kick with the shin to the face. In this view, we can see the development of the kick. Comparing it to the front kick, it's similar in nature, very similar. In fact, the front kick is delivered on a vertical plane forward. As the angle of the kick changes towards the diagonal, it's now approaching a horizontal angle, it becomes the round kick. At the very top level, it can be a very sharp angle on a horizontal plane. In the middle, it could be more of at a diagonal angle. And forward, you see it returns as the front kick. In this view, we'll examine the round kick delivered with the forward leg. Again, we'll draw the comparison between a front kick. It's a similar kick. From this position, you can see the knee raising for the front kick. The front kick is being delivered and is raised in a vertical target forward. From this position, once the kick is placed on the diagonal angle, you can see the formation of the round kick. The appropriate turning of the body to accompany the direction of the kick is incorporated. It is even possible to see the kick form so that the kick is actually being thrown parallel to the ground, completely in a horizontal position. As with other kicks, the kick can be delivered advancing or retreating or moving laterally. This will be saved for another tape.
We are presenting you now with another family of kicks. This time, the kick will be striking to the target in a straight line. We call this the family of stomping kicks. So the attack can be directed to different directions. For instance, stomping down, hitting down towards the target. Hitting forward straight towards the target, hitting sideways straight to the target, and hitting backwards in a straight angle, in a vertical angle, hitting the target. So all the time, this family is striking the target in a vertical line, pushing it, destroying it. Jared will demonstrate now stomping kick down to a target. The target that is down still poses a threat to you. You are lifting your leg and then striking down with your heel. The technique is being done with delivering your weight, sending your weight down to the target. You see that we use realistic training tools to enhance the learning. Note the rising of the knee when the person starts to kick. When you're being attacked in a bear hug, one of the things you can do is strike down with a stomp towards the instep, the toes of your opponent. This is just part of the technique that we have against the bear hug from the rear. Marnie will demonstrate now from a passive stance a defensive kick forward. We're using this technique to push the opponent backwards, slowly. Marnie is raising her leg The knee is directed towards her shoulder, and then she is sending her heel forward in a straight line towards the target. We'll demonstrate it now fast from a fighting stance. This technique is excellent against an advancing attacker to stop him. Mani will demonstrate now the stages of learning for the defensive kick forward. We will start with stomping down, shifting the weight towards the target, starting with raising the knee. Now the kick will come more and more forward and up, as if the target is rising, and a bit